Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualize My Asexual Life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some light love. I really do appreciate it. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about indoor activities. These are non-sexual indoor activities that you can do in the comfort of your own home, and it gives you insight into what asexuals do indoors as activities when they don't have sex. But first, if you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a Celebration of Asexual Diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and the author of this fibromyalgia self-help handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia to Have Less Pain, More Energy and Feel Happier Like a Superhero Rock Star. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to make this video very quick tonight because I am on antibiotics for a pelvic infection problem. So I'm virus free in the upper tract, but yeah, I'm got a personal pelvic infection. So yeah, I'm on them. So we're gonna like make it shorter today. So I actually got some ideas for this video in my sexual friends group on Facebook, and so we're going to take a look at some of those. So basically, yeah, what indoor activities can you do that are non-sexual? Obviously, indoors at the moment, lots of people with the virus that's going around the world in March 2020, when I'm filming this live, a lot of people are looking to see what they could do indoors, basically, you know, activity wise. And while I appreciate that a lot of sexual people will probably be going to have sex more because they're bored and they've got more time on their hands, there's a lot of activities you can do that are non-sexual, and obviously asexuals will do some of these, like not just now but a lot of the time. So I asked in my asexual friends group on one of my upcoming live streams, I want to give some examples of what non-sexual activities to do indoors. So this is what I came up with. Watch Netflix or other video on demand series. Work on world building projects, so creative stuff. Read a book. Start learning a new language. I thought that was very interesting. Video chat with friends. Painting and drawing. And this person, they got a new piano, so they saved up for a piano, and they've been relearning the piano. So that's just a few of the activities you can do. Obviously, you can if you're on your own, there are some board games you can get, or DVD games that are just for one player. So if you're in a family household and you're indoors together, you know, you can play board games like 2 players upwards. But there are, like I said, there's also some DVD games as well as some board games that are single players. So you can get computerized chess, for example, and you can get a version which you just have 1 player on, or 2 players. So you can play against the computer. So my dad used to have computer chess years ago, and it was designed so that, you know, sometimes if you want to, you can just basically try to beat the computer, which is quite good fun. I did have a go. I'm better at drafts. I'm not really a chess person. So that's really interesting. I do have some DVD, or I don't know if I've got that many now, but DVD games. And, you know, you can, you know, these are ones you put in your DVD player at home on your telly. And some of them do come in single player, so they're quite good fun. Obviously, there's more traditional video games, computer games. If you're having family, again, you could have an indoor picnic. You don't have to go outside. You could have an indoor picnic. You could have a movie night or movie day with popcorn if you like as well. Reading a book, I always think is good. There's loads of different books. So you could read fantasy or fiction, non-fiction. You can read, obviously fantasy is fiction usually, but you can read different types of fiction. And non-fiction often teaches you a skill, but it can be autobiographical as well, or both. These are non-fiction, by the way, just in case you're wondering. You can find the links down below. Taking a course, like at the moment I'm doing an online training course, and I think it's always good whilst you're indoors to put that time to good use. So rather than just flicking through the TV all the time, flicking through your social media, which is obviously things you can do indoors. I think, oh, hi Sam, lovely to see you. Lots of love, my best friend. Whilst you're at home, you can obviously go and flick through the TV and go flick through social media, but instead of doing that, you can use this time more wisely to be productive instead of just wasting your hours away endlessly doing that. Because a lot of people at the moment who are not used to being indoors, instead of developing and growing themselves, they'll just be flicking through the actual remote control, using the remote control to flick through all the channels. And they'll be bored. I mean, there's a lot of young people at the moment that's really, really bored in the UK, and they're trying to go out in bulk, and unfortunately, we do have a crisis on, which is the virus. And whilst I think it's good not to panic and live in fear, I think it's also good to be sensible and to, restrict being around a lot of people in order to help other people from catching this thing. Do you know what I mean? So so my stance is don't live in fear, but certainly take precautions and help the government to help you and get the country back as quickly as possible to some sort of like non-urgency. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I'm still going out food shopping. I think you do need to go out food shopping. I think it's good to get some fresh air. But at the same time, I do think it's wise to, as a whole country and countries come together and unite and, take heed. But a lot of the youth are bored. But the fact is, they'll learn a lot from their parents. It'll be just like, well, I don't know what to do with you. And it'd just be like flicking through TV. If those youths were taught, do some online courses, try and make some money online, for example. There's people I know that are making like £100,000 online and they're only 18 years of age. Do you see what I mean? There's really no need for teenagers to be going around being bored, but because the parents are just flicking through the TV and social media and they don't know how to develop and grow themselves and think outside the box and actually do more with their life, rather than just wasting it away with hours of TV and social media. I'm not saying you don't have to look at them at all or flick through social media. Obviously, at the moment, there's social isolation. So we're using social media to good effect in some cases. But other times, people are just literally scrolling through hours and hours of news feeds all the time. And they're not actually learning anything, connecting with anyone meaningfully, and actually, developing and growing themselves. It's just mindless scrolling because they've got nothing better to do with their lives because they're bored rigid. But if the parents and family members, were thinking about developing and growing themselves, into a better version of themselves and doing online courses and stuff, they'd be encouraging their kids to do that as well. The kids could be doing a photography course, if they like photographing things. Maybe they like drawing. Maybe they like doing comics. These are all activities that you can do indoors. If you like drawing, if you like, obviously, we've already said about artwork in there. But if you like drawing comics, you can do that type of thing. Or if you've always wanted to write a play, you could write a play. There's a lot of things you can do. But particularly growing and developing yourself, there's courses in pretty much anything these days. There's no reason for a kid to be sat home bored other than the fact that they can't relate to their family members usually because they're different generations. They've got different ideology, different thought patterns. And they, like some teenagers, a lot of teenagers, they get bored with the TV. They're like, oh, not again. And a lot of the things that the parents watch is not what the teenagers want to watch anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? because you don't have different tastes. Do you get where I'm coming from? So we should be encouraging these people that are bored out of their minds to actually grow themselves, develop themselves into a better person, work on their issues. I mean, there's online counselling as well. So if anyone's out there and they're thinking, oh, I can't see a counsellor, yeah, it usually means paying. But if you've got the money, pay for an online counsellor if you can trust the source. Obviously, there's some dodgy stuff going on the internet sometimes at the moment, and there's always some dodgy stuff somewhere going on. So it's better to actually suss them out. It doesn't have to be like necessarily because there are like coaching counselling and coaching is two separate things, but there's like counselling services as part of the company, or there's individual counsellors, so that you could actually Skype with them or video chat with them and have an hour's counselling session. Do you see what I mean? So there's a lot of people probably who could benefit from that, So just because a lot of counsellors, they're independent, self-employed, they work from home. I class myself as a dating and asexuality coach for asexuals, particularly. So anyone can say, I want a coaching session and pay me for an hour's coaching. We can have a hour's Skype coaching session, which can help you obviously to get and navigate the dating world in the sexual sense and the asexual sense, and help but you can have coaching on anything, life skills. I did a life coaching course for a weekend with the Coaching Academy in the UK. So to grow in confidence, self-esteem, all that type of thing, and actually set goals and plans for improvements and stuff like that. So I tend to do coaching / mentoring together rather than just plain coaching. I prefer that type of thing, because when I had coaching years ago, I paid for this training, and with the bundle came like coaching sessions as well. I paid for it all together, and I actually don't like the traditional coaching model, because what that did is when I was talking to the person, you have to come up with all the answers yourself. And to me, it was like, well, why am I paying this person for coaching when all she's doing is telling me, well, how would you answer that? I mean, that's how you're trained as a coach. You are trained actually not to get the traditional coaching, proper traditional coaching. You're not meant to actually tell someone or give advice to someone if you're coaching traditional coaching, right? This is what they teach at the Coaching Academy. But and the coach I had was actually from the coach, originally trained by the Coaching Academy, but I just got fed up with it. I'm like, can you just please tell me your experience of self-employment in these areas, what you did and what helped you? Because otherwise I felt I'm just paying for nothing. I thought I could come up with all these answers myself. I don't even need the person. I'm just paying. I mean, obviously it came with the package, but you're still paying for it in with the package. And I'm just like, well, this is not what I want. It's not helpful. It's just like shoving the question back to me, which is what, as a coach, that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to ask, okay, so if a person says that they've got a problem, you're supposed to say to them, okay, so if you were giving me advice, how would you advise me right now? What would you advise me to do? And they'll probably go, I don't know. And they're like, oh, but if you did know. And they'll go, well, I don't know. But you'll go, but if you did know, what would it be? Just, you know what I mean? It gets a bit crazy. Whereas I've got a qualification in information, advice and guidance. I've got a diploma, level 4 in it. So I'm actually qualified to actually give proper advice, consultation advice. So I do tend to prefer more of a coaching / mentoring model, where I mix coaching type of questions, which are very they're very questions that are open questions, which give the chance of the person to actually do some of the work themselves, but I also like to offer advice as well. So I kind of do both mixture together. I don't do one or the other. The only danger with that is if you give someone advice and they don't agree with it, then they can then say to you, well, I don't agree, you told me wrong. But at the end of the day, whatever coaching session you do with someone, even if you do mentoring, it's still up to the individual to decide what's right for them and not. And one coaching session, if it's just for an hour, you're not going to get a really good picture of what the person's like in just an hour. That's why most coaching's for 3 months to 6 months. at least, because you build up a relationship. It's not the same as counselling, but obviously you have it ongoing usually to help you in your life and stuff like that. So that if there's anyone watching, there are lots of different coaches for different areas of different people's lives, that you can get help with. Obviously, I class myself as an asexuality coach. I'm the only asexual coach I know. There's asexual counsellors, not many, but there are a couple I know of. One's in India, one that is in the UK, I think. I've lost in touch with them now. They were trained to be a counsellor at the time. So there's not many actual counsellors in asexuality, specifically specialising in that. Obviously, some of them know about asexuality, so that's a good thing. But there's a lot of opportunities online nowadays to connect with professionals, whether it be a professional career person, a professional artist, just someone who's an expert by experience. Someone could have 5 years photography experience and have a course out. You can learn a lot from someone who's actually experienced it. See, there are some people who put courses out there and they haven't done any of it themselves. They're just kind of creating a course to help people based on information they've actually found on the internet, pretty much, or got paid someone else to do it. So I always think it's better to learn from someone who's actually experienced it before and they know the problems as well as the good things that can happen. Do you know what I mean? I think it's very important. It's important to learn from others' mistakes. If you get someone who's just like everything was plain smoothing and plain sailing, you think twice, because it's not really like that in life. Although it can be fun anyway, learning and discovering. But so obviously, like I said, you can get one player ball games, one player DVD games. That's good to do inside. Obviously, you could redecorate your home. That's an activity you can do indoors. I've mentioned that a lot lately, because obviously with you being inside, it's a good idea to do some painting, decorating, move furniture around, clear up your place, move stuff around different places so it fits better, it stores better, all that type of thing. Sam, I agree with learning from those experiences. Sorry, lost connection. Oh, bless you. I know when I first came on here, it kind of like lagged a bit. I don't know if it's still lagging. Learning from those with experience. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's so much better, That's why I like writing books from my own personal experience, because, anyone can come along and say, oh, this, that, and the other. But I think it's so much better if someone's actually done it, even if they haven't necessarily done everything right and they might have failed somewhat sometimes or had problems and issues. It's much better to do that than have someone who's just like, oh, everything worked out smoothly from the beginning, because I don't really trust people like that. Do you know what I mean? There's something a bit dodgy going on there. It doesn't mean to say, like the 18-year-old who I know who made £100,000, 18. He worked really, really hard for that. I saw he showed posts of how his life was before to how it is now. He's 20 now and he's still making a lot of money. I'm in his group. I hope to, he's one of the people I should be interviewing on my new channel that's going to be coming up in a few months' time. So I'm really excited about that. Along with other people, so we can learn from other people's experience. I have some experience, but I'll be bringing in a lot more experts in different places. It's better to learn from the ones who have experience with not smooth sailing all the way. Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. I totally agree with you, because I just think the ones that say it's smooth and plain sailing, there's something dodgy going on. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, and they haven't, if they can't say where the failures are or where the problems lie, then you're just going to do a course and come across all those problems yourself and not know how to solve them. And it's kind of like, well, this person's done a course, yet they don't even know how to help me. And then it gets very frustrating for the people taking the course. It's like, well, you don't really know your stuff, do you? You can't answer my questions. So I think the person's credibility goes down, from my personal experience anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, you say, oh, you can ask me anything. Exactly. Yeah. With my current situation a bit as well, it's kind of like, well, you can ask me anything, here to help, answer any questions, we'll get through this together. And then when someone's like, oh, but but you kind of feel like, yeah, you're not totally being understood or answered, or people can't answer the questions because they're too difficult. That. So, I mean, people have different learning styles as well, don't they? I think that has to be taken into consideration as well. People learn differently at different speeds, at different rates. Some learn better by videos, some learn better by books, some learn better by a mixture. So I think it's important, like for example, in my Asexual Me and Mastery course, I've got videos predominantly, but I do have a bit of a description about what each video is about, and I've got some handouts as well, some like templates for people to download and use, and plus there's a bonus as well, which is really, really good. Ideas for future meetups, 150 something. And you got the course that is really, really good. That they're going to use that in the future. So yeah, that's not officially launched yet. But yeah, so obviously people can't really meet up at the moment. Sam, yeah, definitely there are different learning methods that work better with different people. Yeah, I mean, I really like a handheld approach. Whenever I do a course, a video training course, I want someone literally to kind of take me by the hand and say, this is this, like really like basic kind of kid language, like a 5-year-old would understand. Like, this is your screen, and this is what's on that part of the screen, this is what's on that part of the screen, and this is how these two things work together. I've always been like that. It's like I did a Photoshop course, Adobe Photoshop. You can do online, you can do these activities from your own home. You can do Photoshop, advanced, beginners, intermediate, lots of different Photoshops. But I particularly went to college for this, and at the time was when I wasn't working, and I got 3 courses in 2012. So I did a lot of courses that year. I pretty much spent a whole year back in education. I got an information advice and guidance diploma, PALS level 4 teacher training qualification, and I did loads of Adobe courses, but I didn't really take it in or learn much on the Adobe course. I still got all the coursework files, but the instructor didn't tell me the basics. I didn't understand layers and masks, and I never understood them after I left. I didn't understand which worked where, and I wanted him to literally at the beginning of the class say, oh, for those of you who are completely new to Photoshop, this is the layout, which he did show some of the tools on the left-hand side, but he didn't really explain how layers worked and stuff. And he said a black layer and a white layer, one's on top of the other one. I didn't get it. So I learned how to use Photoshop from watching 2 YouTube videos. One was 11 minutes, I think, and one was 5 something minutes. And I created, one of them, I created my first t-shirt, Asexualized t-shirt, within 24 hours it was sold. On Amazon that was, and it's kind of like crazy. But yeah, I mean, obviously there are a lot of t-shirt on demand places now, so you could, if you're a designer, you could create t-shirts and products now and sell them online. Books you can create. There's lots of stuff people can be doing in the comfort of their own home to to enjoy their life, have fun, and just develop and grow themselves, and I just think people don't think enough outside the box. Like I said, an indoor picnic, if you've got kids at home, you could they could have some tents put up in the house and stuff like this, and they could camp out in the lounge or something, or camp out in the spare room, that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? You could get some marshmallows and have toasted marshmallows. If you've got a fire, be careful not to burn the house down. You can experiment with different foods as well. Indoor activity is cooking, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If you like cooking, you could experiment with lots of different foods. Sam, I usually watch detailed YouTube videos if I want to learn a new program and do what they're doing while I watch it. I find it easier to learn that way. Yeah, Sam, I'm a doing person, but I like it in real dummy language. Do you know what I mean? Like really, like you start like absolutely sweet FA. Because I find with most courses, people always expect you to have kind of I can understand if it's an advanced or advanced course, or expert course. I can kind of understand it. But if it's something you're learning and it's brand new, you've never done it before, and that's the whole point of the course, then I think there has to be some basics taught there in the first place. Like this is this is this is what this does. because, you know, I didn't learn anything to do with Photoshop at college. I learned it all on blooming YouTube videos. And I was at college for months. I did Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. Some of it makes more sense now from the YouTube videos I watch, but I feel if I'd watched the YouTube videos in the first place, I would have known more what to do in class. Yeah, I always start with beginners courses, because if I have used something for years, there could still be stuff I haven't encountered. I've used Excel for space error for more than 2 decades and still find new stuff now. That's really good. That's really good. I mean, I find that some people, they're just like, oh, this is a feature and this is how you use that feature, but they haven't put the feature in context with the other features, if you know what I mean. So say you've got a dashboard or a screen and they're just picking one feature out and another feature out works together. I kind of want to know all the working parts. Like, show me the whole dashboard. Like in Photoshop, I would have liked if the tutor, first of all, gave me an overall view of everything and actually went into detail about what these specific things do more. It was the layers that I really just did it. I just didn't get it. And he started talking about layers and he didn't actually explain what a layer meant and how they work. I mean, I know now just by doing, but I didn't get it then. I mean, obviously it sounds quite obvious, doesn't it, when you say layers? But he was like, oh, there's a black one and there's a black layer and a white layer and one goes on top of the other. That's pretty much all I learned, which isn't really Photoshop. But Photoshop has multiple layers and you create different, I know now, and you create different you can create different images and parts of image in different layers and show part of one layer and turn off part of the other layer to create a whole image. And I still don't know what he's talking about, the black and white image stuff. I don't get that at all. It's like, I think, you know, I just do it. I know what I'm doing now. So, you know, sometimes I create t-shirts got 15 layers. You can turn parts of layers on, turn them off, overlap them, delete them, get rid of them, save them, not show part of them, show the other parts. You can just make like different t-shirts with different bits. But I still didn't get the tutors. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes the things that seem more obvious are harder to fathom. Yeah, that's what I find. The things that seem more obvious are harder to fathom. Because it's like, I like to be like a kid and told in dummy language. That's why the dummies books are good. Although I must admit they're too big for, I've got 3 dummies books on my shelf and they're just too big for me to read because I hate reading in comparison to writing. And it's like, yeah, they're just so huge, the books, like thick. This is a really thick book for me, and the way it's done, it's just like, it's a bit small writing and it's just a bit, I don't know, I just don't really like the layout. I like the fact it's a dummies book, but to be honest, this here, because I'm not into reading that much, it's very cluttered and it's very like, my brain's not very getting that. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit weird. And I've got 2 other books. Look at these dummies books. Again, they're just too, I don't know, I don't get on with these. I think they're great and I bought them from business conferences, but when I've actually come to use them, I just like, yeah, they're a bit thick, really. They're a bit thick and they're not easily broken down to short chapters. I'm not so good with the reading, laugh out loud. Though I did some today online to do with research for my world building. Oh, that's good. I love watching videos, to be honest. Obviously, I like the fact that my books are easy to read because they're in short chapters. And some of the books are easier to read. Like, what have I read before? Oh, this is my favourite self-help book I've read in the past. Writing Successful Self-Help and How-To Books. This is the book that really got me into writing non-fiction books and how to write how-to books. I absolutely love this. And this, Jean Marie Stein, used to be a guy. So they're a trans person. The author is trans. I was like, whoa, this is great. And yeah, I love this book because it's just like the way it's laid out is just a lot easier to read for me. I love the layout. It's very, very easy. And I made loads of notes at the time. And it just really, really just got checklists and things. It's just really nice. I just love it. It's my favourite book on how to write a book. As you can see, I've got loads of scraps of paper in there. I've got an old raffle ticket for the donkey sanctuary in there. I haven't looked at it for a while, but I do have quite a few writing books, so I really like that book. So that's a really nice book. So there are some books I like. How to write and sell simple information for fun and profit. You see, this to me is a much better layout. I just like it. It's just like, it's quite thick, really, but it's just the way it is. It's just a nicer book. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it's laid out. It's just easier to understand. It's like short paragraphs and it's just nicer. I just like that. I won this book years ago. I won both of these books and I'm friends on Facebook with the author now. Ha! Brad Burton. He's a UK's #1 motivational speaker. And I won both these books. Do you know how I won these books? Because I was shouting and I was the loudest person in the room, and the loudest person in the room won the books. And I went to 2 business seminars and won these 2 books. These are absolutely amazing. Brad Burton is a superstar because he is not like everyone else. He has tattoos. He wears short sleeve t-shirts and jeans on stage. And he literally doesn't give a shit what people think about him. His book, you see, his first one's called Get Off Your Ass, and this one's called Get Off Your Ass too. But I've been friends with him for a while on Facebook now, which is nice. So I had my picture taken with him years ago. So it's kind of like he's in my circle of friends now, which is really, really nice. Really good guy. Very, very down to earth. He runs a huge networking business in the UK. See, he make notes. Really, really nice. Sam. I prefer videos in general, but your books that I have are easy to read due to the way they are laid out. Oh, thanks, Sam. Yeah, Sam's talking about these 2 books. Woo-woo. The 5 Around Yourself Handbook and the Asexual Perspectives. Oh, and you've got the Breakthrough Barriers of Redundancy to get back into work and HSZ How to Guide, but that's not in print at the moment. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. Sam, like you were at the City show at Breen. Oh, yes, we were both at the City show at Breen, weren't we? Yeah, we were both at the City show at Breen. Yes, the City show is great. Yeah, so if you're at home, you can watch kids' movies and kids' TV. I love watching kids' TV. It's really, really good fun. Really, really good fun. I mean, you were the loudest there. Oh! I wonder what you meant. Oh, yeah, I was, yeah. You were the person that was doing the most vibrant dancing or jiggling, and I was the loudest. But you haven't been with me to Shrek Adventureland in London yet. One day, my friend, one day. It's quite expensive there, but I've been about 3 times on my own. No, I've gone with people as well. Have I gone 3 times on my own and once with someone else? I think I've gone once. Yeah, I've definitely gone once with someone else. I think I've gone 3 times on my own or twice on my own and once with another person. Oh yeah, no, I've been twice with 2 other people. Oh, it's really, really, really good Shrek Adventureland in London. I mean, obviously, because we can't go out at the moment, then these are things that you can be doing as well. You can be writing down a list of places you want to visit when you actually can go out. So that can be your indoor activity as to what you want to do outdoors in the future. That's still activity indoors because it's planning, goal setting. So this is very important. So yeah, you can do research as well of different places to go. So very good. Researching is very good. So yeah, thank you, Sam. Yeah, I was the loudest at the station. But the Shrek Adventureland, I'm always the loudest at that. It's really funny. Like louder than any of the kids. You haven't seen me there. I'm really in my element. I mean, I'm really loud. Like even loud for I think I'm loud. But it's really good fun. In Shrek Adventureland in London, it's amazing. You're actually in a story with Shrek. And people are dressed in all these clothing and actors and actresses playing the parts of a story. So you're like in the story with the actors and actresses. But they get the audience involved and they get individuals from the actual audience involved as well. And so I've actually been one of the people that held one of the items that's a clue that you've got to use to collect throughout the whole story in order to save Shrek, basically. Sam, I was the loudest the last time I went to a pantomime about 5 years ago. I haven't been to a pantomime in years. I do wish I could go to pantomime. I love pantomimes. Which pantomime was that? I'm curious now. Which pantomime was it? I'm really, 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 really curious to know what pantomime it was. I love Panta, but no one ever goes. I love Panta. The only reason I don't go is because of I have other priorities with finances. That's the only reason I don't go. But I do actually love pantomimes. I haven't been for years. But yeah, and my parents, they live in Dawlish, but the place where they have a pantomime place in Dawlish is really cramped. The chairs, that's why my parents don't go anymore. The chairs are cramped in. My mum and dad said they put extra chairs in, and it was a small place anyway. So literally your legs end up really cramped. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, that's really cool. Well, I went years ago. My grandma's not on planet Earth anymore as bodily person. And she went to Plymouth with me. And I remember these great big furry spiders came down from the ceiling. It was really funny. So we went to see a pantomime in Plymouth together. That was really nice. It was a really, really big theatre and it's great. Aladdin the year before. Oh, wow. I like theatre. Not just pantomime. I'm really a theatre buff. Like if I've been to loads of theatre performances in London. Do you like the theatre as well? Or is it just pantomime? Because I absolutely love the theatre. I adore it so much. The theatre I've seen, what have I seen at the theatre? Oh my gosh, I've seen Shrek at the theatre. I've seen Sound of Music, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Grease, Dirty Dancing, The Bodyguard. Oh, The Bodyguard, that was really scary. Someone in the audience, when there's a gun that goes off on stage and someone in the audience got up and started shouting. And I thought they were going to actually get a real gun on the people who were sitting watching the pantomime. They started shouting at the time and going bang or something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, when they're actually shooting this gun on stage, and it was really scary. Really scary. I thought I was going to have to make an exit. I thought the guy had gone crazy or something. But luckily it was okay. But it wasn't. They weren't supposed to do that. They weren't supposed to start like standing up, going bang or something. And it was really horrible. Yeah, I like theatre too, but again, lack of contacts to go with. I've been to see loads of theatre like years ago. If I'd have known you years ago, we would have gone together. That was when I was, working full time in a manager's job, I think. Yeah, I haven't been to the theatre for a few years. When was the last time I went? I can't remember. Last time I went, I saw The Bodyguard and another one. I don't know what that year was. Was that when I was working at John Lewis? I used to work at John Lewis. I don't know. But it was quite a few years ago. But yeah, I love the theatre. I've seen Matilda, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That is amazing because at the end you actually see the elevator, the lift they go up in, and it goes above the stage, above the audience. That's kind of crazy. Wicked's really, really good. When I saw Matilda, I wasn't that impressed with that one. I've seen Starlight Express, but that wasn't in London. That was in Torquay. I've seen Phantom of the Opera twice. I really like that. The Lion King I've seen as well. I'm not so keen on The Lion King. I don't know why. But when I was at Disneyland Paris in 2017, they actually had a beautiful theatre performance of loads of different theatre performances mixed together. It was like a medley, and they had Frozen, and they had other ones that's really good. You saw Starlight Express? Oh, you loved it, did you? I wasn't so keen on that. Like, I don't really understand the story. I just knew the roller skates were quite cool. Stomp's really good. And Michael Jackson's Thriller I've seen. That is really good. Seen both of those. It's excellent. Really, really, really good. Really, really good. I loved that. Michael Jackson's Thriller. So the singing it's amazing. The Bodyguard's really good as well for singing. I'd love to see Frozen on stage. Because in other countries they've done Frozen on the theatre. I'd love to see that on the theatre. It'd be amazing. Still haven't seen Frozen 2 yet. Obviously the cinemas are shut at the moment. But yeah, so I'm not. There's some things that are sexual that I'm not interested. Like Chicago, I'm not interested in that. That's too sexual for me. I would love to see Evita in theatres. It's my favourite musical. Oh, I've got that. I think I've got it. Have I got it on DVD or have I got it on? I think I've got it on cassette disc from years ago. Cassette tape, I mean. I didn't know you like that. Yeah, I haven't seen Evita on musical, but I've got it. I think it's on. Yeah, I think it's on cassette tape. Oh, that's really old, isn't it? I've still got a cassette tape player, but I don't think I can get it to work. Last time I tried to play a cassette, it wouldn't work. The TV just seemed to blank out. But yeah, I haven't seen it for ages. I used to have the DVD, seen it about 10,872 times, just a little bit then. Oh right, I didn't know you. Do you like Madonna then? Because I used to like some of her music. And I like the fact she breaks stereotypes. She's a bit sexual though, too sexual sometimes. But yeah, so I was quite disappointed with Grease and Dirty Dancing actually, because when I saw them, there wasn't very good chemistry. The actors and actresses weren't very good. I didn't see them. You know, when you go and watch a musical, or even if you see, like, for example, I don't watch Dancing on Ice, right, usually, but when I'm over with my parents, I see it sometimes, right? And you can tell that some of the dancing, the ice skaters, they've got chemistry, right? They're clearly attracted to each other, even if they're in relationships. And they've got this bond and they've got this energy together, and they've got this, you know, they do that. You can tell they kind of fancy each other, or they admire each other, or they got some chemistry going on, right? But when I went to see Dirty Dancing Grease, neither of the so-called couples had any chemistry. It was just literally watching like they were acting and reading off a script. Do you know what I mean? It was like you're supposed to be really, really into each other and really liking the part and playing it. I just felt like it was wooden. I wasn't very impressed with that. I loved the actual music, but I didn't think the actors and actresses, the main lead characters, were very good. Not really a fan of her specifically. I had to do her. That sounds really bad. I had to. She was in my final exam for media studies A level. I got B in media studies A level, and I had to describe why Madonna was good example of popular culture. That was like a huge piece of my exam. You've never seen Grease on film or theatre? Oh yeah, I've got Grease. That's how come I like guys who have short dark hair, clean shaven, white t-shirt, black jeans, black leather jacket, and trainers. I think that's where I got the look from, because I really like it. I'm like, obviously he's a bit old for me now, and also because her name was Sandy, and people used to call me Sandy, short for Sandra. You know, so some people used to call me Sandy. So I could relate to her because she was sweet and innocent, whereas he wasn't really. He was a bit naughty. But there's some sex stuff in it. Well, implied sex stuff. But yeah, so Grease does have one scene where they're in a car, and not the main character, but one of the other main characters, not the main character. He does the condom breaks or something in the car. Yeah, so because they're supposed to be having sex. So yeah, and yeah, Danny Zuko, who's the main character, and Sandy, he's sexual and she's more sweet, innocent, country girl next door type thing, and she's disgusted when he kind of tries to put his arm around her in the drive-in and goes to kiss her and he wanted to do a bit of fondling, I think, and she stopped him, slammed the door on him, and walked off. I know some of the music from a Boyzone video I had years ago. Oh, I've got all the I've actually got the Grease the Musical CD from the London theatre production as well that I saw, and I think somewhere I've got both of them. I'm not sure. Have I got the original one or just the theatre one? It might just be theatre one, but I've got actually Grease on DVD. But yeah, it used to be my very favourite film. Grease and Dirty Dancing are my favourite musical films, but I do like the street dance movies now. Like I do, You've Got Served is probably my very, very favourite dance movie. I still like Grease and Dirty Dancing. They're still two of my favourites, but I like the Step Up movies and stuff. Oh, I've got more dance movies on the way that I'll be reviewing. Forgot about them. I've got Street Dance 2 coming. I've got Street Dance 1, but I've never seen Street Dance 2 before. And I've got Stop the Yard 2. I haven't even seen the first one coming yet. Apparently Stop the Yard's really good, so I can't wait to see them. I'll be doing movie reviews on them. Oh, just imagine actually getting some DVDs where I haven't even seen the films. That's quite exciting. And I've ordered Ready Player One. I've got 3 movies coming for myself. Early birthday present to myself. Along with stuff I needed to get. But yes. They're not due till the 1st of April though. But yeah, anyway, it's my birthday in April, so nice 3 gifts. But I don't think I'll wait till my birthday to watch them. I'll just be watching them before then, probably. Because I just like watching movies. I love watching movies like that has no sex in them. So obviously that's I did mention earlier that's an indoor activity that you can do. But as you know, I try get ones which got no sex and no nudity in. But they often like I don't like usually films that are specifically love stories. You know, that's the whole thing. They're love, you know, they're romance and love films. I've only got like 2 actually in that type of category. Is it called chick lit or something? I don't know. It's like based on love. You know, it's just based on romance and love. But the dance movies have always got a love story in them. The dance movies I watch, like street dance movies, every single movie's got a love story in it. But I like it because it's combined with music, and the street dance, you know, the street dance dancing and music is what I really love. And when you combine it with a love story, it makes a very powerful effect. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if I just watch a normal romance, I just get bored, which sounds really crazy as I'm a hyper romantic. You would have thought it'd be the opposite. But it's not, because I love the high octane music, and the music does put you in a much more romantic mood, I think. And I like I said, I like being really busy, high octane energy. But what else can people do indoors? Oh, you can do some exercise. If you've got exercise bike or exercise equipment, you can exercise in the comfort of your own home. I haven't exercised for a couple of days, and that's why my back's been killing me today. So, because I got up early today to phone the doctors to get an appointment for these things, because at the moment they're doing a phone appointments. You can't actually go into a doctor's surgery because of the virus when I'm recording this in 2020, March 2020. And so they're just doing phone appointments. So you phone up the receptionist, they give you, say, a doctor that will phone you back, and then they diagnose you over the phone with the symptoms and send your prescription by email to a pharmacist of your choice, usually near you, and then you go and pick it up. It's boring, laugh out loud. I am romantic, but I don't particularly like sitting watching others engage in it for 90 minutes. Yeah, I'm glad you find it boring. Do you know what I mean? I put one on here a while ago, and like YouTube were like, oh, there is a I put it on there because I fancied the guy and wanted to show people like this video, this like workout video where the music's really good, but this is the type of guy I really like. And I just showed a clip of it, and YouTube are like, you know, this is copyrighted, but you haven't got a strike. You know, if YouTube run any paid adverts, because I can't have paid adverts because I'm less than 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch time a year. But you know, if they decide to put anything on there, it's like it will go to the company who's got the copyrighted music in it, which is fair enough. But yeah, it was only clippy. They said, oh, if you want to have music in your videos, then please select from our library, a YouTube library. I was thinking I wasn't interested in the music. I mean, I do love the music, but that's not why I showed it. I was specifically saying the type of guy I like and how good looking he is. And I thought you can't replicate that unless you can get this loads of different guys that I'm interested in the free YouTube library. Little video clips of foreign guys, then I don't think so. I thought it was really funny. Disconnected again, not sure why. That's weird. That's really weird. I know I had a lag earlier, and sometimes it does lag. I don't know if that's to do with my Wi-Fi. But we are on lockdown at the moment, aren't we, in the UK, particularly in quite a lot of places. So maybe things aren't running as smoothly as they usually do. Do you know what I mean? It might affect it. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, something I haven't said as well. This morning, was it this morning? Yeah, it was this morning because I got up early. I was watching some of the course on my iPad because I'm doing a course, as I said, how important it is to do really activities in your own that do grow you and develop you. So I'm doing an online training course within a Facebook group, and for a limited time it is. And when I went to go to the toilet, literally the tap was gushing water and I couldn't turn it off. And I tried to turn it off, the knob to the hot water tap in my toilet literally came off in my hand. And I had to contact the landlord, and I told the people downstairs, and one of the people downstairs luckily got the guy who lives around the corner, who's like an odd job guy who does like plumbing and stuff, to come and fit a new tap. It's a temporary one, but at least he fitted a new tap and we could have water. Otherwise we couldn't have water in the whole house because it literally was gushing out. And like I said, that it was gushing out the faucet, that out the spout thing. And then literally it was like when the knob came off, it was going in the air. I managed to get the knob back on, screw it on, but then it was coming out of all the is it called faucet? It was coming out the main tap, but you couldn't let it carry on like that, because it would run the immersion heater dry. So yeah, I had all that going on this morning before I phoned the doctor. So it's been a very eventful 24 hours actually. But yes, so if you're bored at home, don't break the taps. I didn't break the taps. The tap just happened to be broken. I had a problem with it last year. And instead of the insurance company deciding to replace the whole thing, in the end, they just decided to replace a broken washer, and the tap's really old and they should have replaced the whole thing. So I probably wouldn't have had a problem. So yeah, I don't recommend going breaking taps or other things on purpose, but if it's an accident, then these things happen. Yeah, but you could do a plumbing course, say, online and get a qualification. I don't know if you can get a qualification in plumbing online, but there's lots of open university courses nowadays, tons of them. So it's always worth looking there. There's writing courses. The Writers Bureau is where I went for my Writing for Children's course, which I still haven't actually finished. It's a long distance course made up of about 16 units, I think it is. I've done 4 of them. It's about another 12 to go, and I've never finished it. 2008 I started that. I got good marks for the actual coursework I handed in years ago. So yeah, that's really good. There's lots of things that you can do. Like you can make things, crafts. You can make cards, greetings cards. You can make pom-poms. You can knit if you like knitting, embroidery. I'm not into knitting or embroidery. Knitting, embroidery is not my thing. But if you're into needlework, knitting, embroidery, you can make scrapbooks. Scrapbooking is very popular. It's a very popular hobby. So this means like it could be cutting out pictures of you and your friends and stuff and putting them in like a scrapbook with basically a book, and you glue them in and writing like where you were at the time, what was happening in your life. Or it could be like made up of lots of different things, like photos of you and your friends, and then photographs of like where you'd like to travel to or where you've been, like cut things out of magazines that interest you to kind of journal your life. But scrapbooking is very, very popular. I was quite shocked at how popular it was. There's quite a lot of courses in scrapbooking. Obviously journaling, you can do journaling. That's very, very popular, and it's very good to get your thoughts out on paper. Journaling's very, very good. You can like get stuff out the loft and sort your loft out if you've not done that for a while. You can order some new clothes if you wanted to and get a new wardrobe while you're that's an indoor activity. You order the clothes online and then they come to you. Some companies like let you return the clothes that you're not using. So you could literally, get lots of clothes and send back the ones you don't want. You have a whole new wardrobe. So yeah, obviously you can do YouTubing at home. You can do vlogging. This is basically a vlog when I give you my daily life updates and talk about asexuality in the comfort of my own home in a dressing gown half the time. And so you can do vlogging. You can do blogging. Blogging's like written stuff. Which I've had 2 blogs for, well, I've had 2 blogs. I don't know if one's 9 years and one's 10 years, but yeah, the start of my first blog in 2010. It's not an asexual one. 2010, so it's 2020 now. It'll be my 10-year anniversary of blogging. I don't blog on that one as much as I should. I've been a bit slack, to be honest. So yeah, there's quite a lot of things you can do. But I'm not a needlework, patchwork type of person. But crocheting, knitting, sewing, needlework, patchwork, making stuff. Some people they sew things that they just enjoy. They make their own dresses, they make their own skirts, they make their own clothes. Get a sewing machine. You could do that type of thing. You could make some curtains if you're good at making things. Like I said, cooking, bakery, if you want to bake cakes, not just main cooking food, baking. It's quite popular. You can get clay that you can actually make things with at home and you can put in the oven to harden, and then you can get paints that you can paint on the clay. So you could create trinket boxes and things like that. So basically you're doing like pottery in your own home. But instead of it being, like obviously if you've got a big home, you could probably buy a kiln and all the rest of it. But you can just get like little different types of clay, and just put stuff together. Beads, jewelry. You can make your own jewelry. You can get some beads, get some thread, make your own jewelry, your own earrings, your own necklaces. You can make your own bracelets, stuff like that. So jewelry making is very popular. Do you know what I mean? There's there's loads of things you can make. I mean, there's loads of crafts and like you can make candles, bath bombs, all that type of thing. I don't know how you do that. But you know what I mean? There's all these types of things, Some people carve things out of wood. So, if you are good at doing that type of thing, if you've got the right tools in your own home, you could carve something out of wood. You can make things out of wood, make things out of metal. You can make your own homemade jams. You know what I mean? There's kind of really a lot you can do. Some people make their own fudges. Some people make lamps and lampshades. Some people make ornaments. Do you know what I mean? There's kind of like endless stuff you can do at home. Do you know what I mean? Like people don't really think about it. I mean, obviously for some of this stuff you'll have to order things online to come to you, to give you the tools, equipment and things, the facilities, well, things that you need to do it with, really. Do you know what I mean? Like if you paint, you need paints and a note, a pad of, and paper and stuff like that, the right paper, and depends where you're using pastels or watercolor paints, or do you know what I mean, as to what you actually want to do. Obviously plants, if you love gardening, it's not an indoor activity if it's an outdoor garden, but there are indoor plants. You might just like to grow your own indoor plants and take cuttings from them, make new plants, and therefore you could sell some of them to your friends or just give them away to friends. Some people like to grow vegetables in their garden. Some things you can grow inside. I think you can grow cress inside. Things like that. Obviously, if you've got pets, then you could do some dog grooming, dog bathing. You can play with your pets. Like use toys and stuff for them. That type of thing. So there's kind of a lot of things you can do in the comfort of your own home, that people just don't really think about. Do you know what I'm saying? Just people don't. I mean, obviously, indoors is indoors, right? But I mean, you can do rebounding. Like, I said about exercise bikes, I think I mentioned earlier. You can get these mini trampolines where you can literally, I used to have one, you can literally jump up and down on the trampoline. It's really good exercise and good fun as well, especially to music. You can get a really high. I used to have one of them a long time ago. I used to use it all the time. about 60 quid they used to be. Used to be boing, boing, boing. Very good exercise. Very good exercise. Some people have swings indoors. And apparently it's not sexual. Yes. I don't know what to say about that. but apparently, because obviously there's a sexual thing which is swinging, and people literally kind of like have something from the ceiling that's like a swing and have sex with each other on it, apparently, from what I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't really know sexual stuff that well. So yeah, but I actually there was an Indian guy who wasn't asexual though, and he said his family had a swing in the house. So I'm guessing some people have swings in their house. I kept thinking, I mean, he was an adult guy, because I thought it was a sexual thing. Maybe it is an actual sexual thing. And his parents didn't tell him, but he was an adult guy. Do you know what I mean? He was in his 20s. Like, he wasn't a kid. But he was one that broke my heart. Yeah, so obviously listening to music, I don't know if I've said that, doing some dancing in your own home is very, very important. Very, very important. So yeah, flower arranging. You can like literally get some flowers out of the garden, which obviously is going outside, or maybe it's indoor plants you've got, and you can take some, cut some off and make a bouquets of flowers. Obviously, in order to preserve plant life, it's kind of better a lot of the time if you can have whole plants. But if you want to cut some off, like I know sweet peas usually have a lot of them in the garden that you usually cut up and put into little bunches of flowers. So this is all the type of thing you can do, really. I've actually chucked, thrown apple pips before on a garden, and they sprouted up, and one of them went into a big apple tree. That was when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, let's sprinkle these apple pips on the garden. And it actually came off as a massive apple tree in the middle of one of our gardens, me and my parents years ago. So that's really interesting. I mean, obviously with dogs, you can do dog bathing, dog grooming, that type of thing. If you've got a cat, if the cat likes doing acrobats, you make cat videos and stuff like that. So some online places, they pay for videos, funny videos of pets, but don't push your pet to do anything that's not comfortable for them. Because I don't think you should do anything for money like that. That's not what I'm about. Just if they do something crazy that you happen to catch when they're naturally doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's quite funny. So I'd say, pay a lot of attention to all the things that you could do, and I'm sure there's many more ideas online. You can always Google it. What indoor activities can I do that's non-sexual? Because obviously sexual people now will probably be having more sex because they got more time on their hands, unless they're really knackered with the kids around. But anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. I've really enjoyed talking to you, Sam, as well, in the chat. It's been amazing. It's been great to talk about theatre and stuff, and like I said, that is so important, that even though you're indoors, you can still make plans for what to do in the next, like year, 2 years, as soon as this virus is gone, which it will go. We need to be making plans for after them. Places we like to visit, things we need to do. Well, any areas of our life we can improve right now, though, is better. I mean, I know some people, like I said, just going back to what I was saying earlier, some people are just wasting their life. Instead of using this as an opportunity to develop, grow themselves, learn new skills, progress their life, maybe get a side hustle. So even if they're keeping their main business, they might want to just make a few quid online, or set up a website for their favourite hobby or interest, or start a blog. Instead, people just constantly scrolling on social media all the time. And it's not good to do that anyway when the virus is being talked about all the time. We don't want to live in fear, I know that you have to watch a bit of it sometimes, really, a little bit, but try not to watch too much of it. I don't. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite calm about the whole thing in general. I mean, when I go outside, I do feel like I'm risking my life just by going outside, which is kind of weird. But then, I'm being sensible. I'm keeping within the guidelines, just going out with me, just going out for food shopping and stuff like that. So, and meds, I had to go and get these today, so I had to go out anyway. Got to get my guinea pigs meds as well. So just be sensible, but don't live in fear, and don't, just remain as calm as possible, because There's no point, is there, in not being calm? It's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to improve the situation with you being like uncalm or panicking. It's not going to help. It's not going to help someone else. It's not going to help yourself. So there's no point. There's absolutely no point whatsoever. And that's how you have to look at it. There's no point you panicking, no point you not being calm, because it's going to do no good. There's no good that can come of it. It can't change anything. Apart from it can change your immune system and change your own health and well-being and make you more susceptible to getting things because you're lowering your immune system and having negativity. See, I've got these, but am I worried? No, I just have antibiotics. It'll clear up. I've been in pain with my pelvis today. But, I'm virus-free as far as I'm concerned. And so this is just like temporary, innit? It's just pelvic pain. It'll go away. Not I'll get something else for it. But you know what I mean? In general, I'm in good spirits, see? My back is killing me because I haven't done any exercise, but that's my fault for not doing it for a couple of days. Life is good. Life is just great, isn't it? I've been like doing a lot of online course, trying to today, so that's been good. Yeah, I keep feeling sleepy with these antibiotics though. Every time I take them, I nearly fall asleep. I nearly fell asleep before I came on this live stream. I'm like, I've got to do a live stream. And then I messaged Sam just before I woke up then. Messaging you, it was good. Anyway, I just messaged in the group of the course I was doing just before as well. So I kind of was waking up them, but yeah. But anyway, it's been lovely to talk to you, Sam. I've really, really enjoyed it. I didn't know you liked the theatre, so that's really good. And Pano, I like both of them. So lots of future things to think about. It's really good. And anyway, yeah, don't forget to write down in your diary and plan ahead of what you want to do in your life. Place you want to go, things you want to do, people you want to see. It's very important. And don't forget, something I haven't really reiterated is to make sure you do connect by phone, text, email, or video with your friend. I know I said video chatting earlier, because that was one of Sam's suggestions in the Asexual Friends group about what activities to do together. And me and Sam are going to be live streaming soon again. So that's going to be great. We live streamed for over 12 hours by Skype. That is a record for me. A world record. It was good. Only ended because I had to go to sleep. I do need my sleep though. My body, because I got fibro, it gets a bit like, it's also a record for you. Oh, bless you. The time to go really quickly, I have to say. But I think I'll have to get a bit more sleep next time. My body starts getting a bit shaky, thingy, jiggy from fibro. So, and plus I'm trying to do my course at the moment. So I'm trying to stay awake. And instead I just like sleep the rest of the day else. But yeah, it's really, really nice. Really nice. From 7:30 the previous night to 7:30 the following morning. I've got to remember to do my live stream earlier Wednesday because I'm Skyping you later. So I said that I need to do my live stream earlier if I can do it, because I think I've got to pick Angel's meds up tomorrow. I don't know if my dad's going to give me a lift. I've got to go to the bank, so I've got to go out for part of the day tomorrow. Yeah, I shall allow you to get us to sleep a bit earlier this time. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's not that I don't love talking to you, I do. It's just that 11 and a half hours. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I think I'll need a little bit more sleep than that. Usually I go to sleep about 4. Usually. About 4. But I'm probably going to lie in the bed tomorrow because of my pelvis. So, and these make me really sleepy. Like, literally, when I took it with my evening meal, I'm like, That's the only problem, like, lying on the bed. It'll probably make me more sleepy. But I do get quite a bit of pain set up. My back's really hurt. Hopefully I'll do some exercise. Woo! Oh yeah, you can make fun. You can do some exercises with your arms and doors as well if you can't do much exercise. Make plain movements. Anyway, I shall look forward to seeing you soon, Sam. When I've done all my work and everything else I got to do today now, because it's Wednesday. But yeah, I'll see you soon. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the chat. It's been amazing. And thanks to whoever else has been watching, because I know someone else has been watching all through this live stream. So love to whoever that is. Really appreciate you being here. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now and post a new video. And I look forward to seeing you on the next live stream or video. Don't forget I'll do an earlier one. And take care of you, and I will see you soon. Lots of you must look after yourself, and also got to do your work, of course. Yeah, because I'm doing the course this week. They've got a Q&A on Friday as well, so I've got to prepare for that. Good night. Take care. Bye. Lots of love, Sam. Lots of love, everyone.